So my phone smelled weird, and I was talking, and I thought, what? And I hung up, and I found out, guess who was on my phone?
Who?
Heffalump.
Shut up. Why was she at your desk?
I don't know, trying to eat snacks or something out of my desk, and now I have spinal meningitis.
Oh my god.
No,
Oh. Hello? This thing's on. It's on. Hello, welcome back. Under the Influence Season 2. Florida McGurdy.
Max Ford.
Tonight's topic's going to be Under the Bus.
Tonight is our theme, Under the Bus. Tonight's theme was picked up on a viewer letter that they sent to us that they were having trouble at their workplace with someone that was continually throwing them under the bus. So, and
we can relate.
We can relate.
Yeah, a sad story about that.
Yeah, so Flirty made a delicious drink to go with that. It's called...
What?
We're going to show them how to make it in a moment, but what are you calling this?
This is called the Bus Bump.
Yeah, the Bus Bump. It's delicious.
Well, get it? Bump, white, bus. But, you know, also for clean. It's a nice clean drink. We're clean people.
Yeah.
However, the subject tonight's not a very clean subject.
Well, I hope if a bus hit me that it would be clean and with white walls.
Oh, me too.
Because I'm from Detroit, you know.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Ghetto cells. Anyways, part of the letter that we had, we're going to paraphrase the letter, is the person was straight, and they were having a question about that. So first, let's just say, welcome to our straight viewers.
Yes, welcome.
This is the show for the stay-at-home gay.
Mm-hmm.
It's about 2.5 drinks long, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
So first, we're going to try to help you as best we can. We must say this, that straight people do have two big traits that they have. One, they do have this overriding need to determine who belongs and who doesn't. They always do that.
You know, which I don't understand. And maybe it's because we're gay.
Right.
Maybe you can relate, viewers, because I don't judge people whether they belong here or they don't belong here. I judge you in how you treat me and how I treat you. Yeah. That's how you.
They seem to waste a lot of energy and preoccupied a lot with who belongs and who doesn't, and then they get to decide.
And when in fact, if they actually looked in the mirror, like Michael Jackson says,
"Oh, the man in the mirror,"
then you know what? It's actually you who don't belong.
Oh yeah.
And I just said you who don't. That's pretty ghetto, but it's you who doesn't belong.
No, I agree.
I'm under the influence.
That's their one trait of deciding, and then the second is, and this is something that we as gay people, we work a lot with straight people. And sometimes we pick up their what they're putting down, and one of them is throwing people under the bus, which is tonight's episode, throwing people under the bus.
You know, if I could, this bus is awesome, and it makes me want to think that if I lived back in the 50s and 60s, I wish I would own a fleet of these buses. I mean, that's how cool they look to me. I actually, when I become rich, I actually am going to buy one of these buses, and our show will hit the road on this bus.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah.
You know, there was a weird time in my life, true story, where I decorated my bedroom to look like a bus. Do you remember that, Mary? I did that because I wanted to. I do remember. I wanted to live my life on the bus, on the road. So I put everything real tight.
Did you have like a little like porta potty in your bed?
Well, the bathroom that I had in my room was really small, so it was kind of like being in a little bus. So in addition to that show being under the bus, we also want to take it global from a moment and just say that the Pope this week, he was in Fatima. And then, you know, the church is going through some scandals with the church, pedophilia, and they got their own problems.
Well, they are the problem. This is what, and I'm going to say it because I'm Flirty McGurdy, but you know what, Catholics, fuck you. You're the problem. Nothing to do with the gays.
Nothing to do with you.
You're touching little boys. 6, 7, 8-year-old boys. You're touching them.
Yeah.
In the bathing suit area. They don't need to be touched there.
I know. And so what the church does, instead of dealing with their own problems, they throw the gays under the bus and saying that it's part of that. So it ties in perfectly with our show, which makes us a bus bump. Boom. But know this, I don't know what town you're watching this in, but in Phoenix, we had a bishop a few years back named Thomas O'Brien. And Thomas O'Brien was almost indicted by the prosecutor for moving priests around and like promoting pedophilia. Even I think he promoted it, you know,
because
when you cover up.
That's what I was going to say. They covered up. So by covering up, so you have been accused of touching these 8 boys here. So guess what they're going to do? They'll go public. We're going to move him. We're going to take care of the problem. He's gone. Yeah. Please give us a chance. Believe
we'll just
in God.
Blame the gays later.
All the blah blah blah.
We'll blame the gays later.
I don't ever remember a story ever in the Bible that I read that God was touching 8-year-old boys.
No, he didn't.
But in the Catholic Bible, apparently it's everywhere.
It's in their recipe. It's in their instructions.
That's all they know. Oh, yeah. I'm going to become a priest.
It's on your resume when you apply.
How many pedophilia acts have you been convicted of?
Well, you have to mark down your favorite boy band like Menudo and like Justin, what's that boy?
Circumcised or not?
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, if they like him, you're in. You get to be a priest. Well, you get. There's another question. If you don't do drugs, you don't get hired. So I think that they do drugs. So, anyways, that's the priest thing there. Oh, Thomas O'Brien. So here in Phoenix, he didn't have enough information or enough evidence to indict him, so he got free. So, like, 30 days goes by, and again, you probably have your own story in your own town that you live in. Like California, you have Roger
Maybe
Mahoney.
It's happened to you.
Oh, yeah.
Stand up for yourself.
Stand up. But anyway, so he, a month later, is driving home from a bar, Thomas O'Brien, drunk, wasted, and he hits an Indian. Remember that, when he killed the Indian?
Yep.
It was like a 250-pound Indian.
That's like hitting a medium-sized bear.
You know what he said? He thought he had a bird. That's what he told the cops. And my thing is always, what bird do you know weighs 250 pounds, has a ponytail, and smells like Jack Daniels? None. It's not.
Oh my! With a peace pipe hanging out of its mouth.
Yeah. He knew what he did,
that bird was flying high.
Yeah, Thomas O'Brien got free. He got free of that. So that's our cardinal. He got ousted out. We have a new one now that's kind of just as bad. But anyways, going to your letter, if you have workplace violence, and that's what it is, workplace violence. If you are coming to work and you're not working because your goal is to make other people miserable, you probably should kill yourself. You probably should drink. Probably should get some kind of help. But you should definitely leave innocent people alone.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? I almost want to suggest playing in traffic at rush hour.
Oh, that would be nice.
But here's the problem with that.
Or maybe under
you
a bus.
might actually kill an innocent family or an innocent person, which most likely you will because you're a elephant.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're definitely going to get yours one way or another, and you know, God's here to say so.
So our advice to that person is, we can't give you gay people advice because you don't know how to use the power, because this is something that you learn over years of being, you know, bullied by boys on the playground. You know, you can nuance your power, but straight people don't have that power. But what we can tell you is just to hang in there, maybe have a few drinks before you go to work that would, you know, seem to make
Find a friend with Xanax.
Yeah, and then just smile and don't really get involved. I would do that for that.
Well, that's what we say. What do we say about straight people?
We don't get into straight people's business.
Don't get involved in the straight
Do not get in, because they're enemies today and tomorrow they're best friends.
Yes.
You don't really want to.
We
can't get involved in your business.
Yeah, they're always going to have each other's back, but they're never going to have yours.
No.
But you know what they do? They look to a strong gay to stand up for themselves.
Yeah.
Stand up
to fight their battle,
because they can't fight their own battle,
no,
and that's
I agree.
sad.
It is.
And unfortunately, America doesn't recognize how strong and powerful gay people are. We have fought many battles, and that's what makes us so strong today in today's workforce.
Yeah, to do that.
People are intimidated by us.
So we do thank our viewers that are straight. We do appreciate them. We know some very, like Andy Clinch, like Amy, very, very, very liberal, advanced. Yeah, very advanced people. But on the whole, they're not very advanced as a people, and they're very hateful. They're very worried about what happens in my anal cavity. You know,
they're more concerned about who you're sleeping with instead of
because they're gay. Because they're gay, I think.
Well, because they're not getting fucked at home anyways.
Yeah, if you're not having good sex, you are going to try to limit the sex that other people have. I agree, don't you?
At least get some. Never mind. This is a whole nother topic. This is next week's topic.
Yeah, so coming to a close on this, let me just say this, the Pope, though. He chose to say this at Fatima, and that's where that little girl in the early century had this vision of what was going to happen. But what's interesting about this is that he did this speech last week, right? He did it in Portugal, Fatima. Now, before he was the Pope, this cardinal, George Ratzinger, which is now Pope Benedict, he was the Pope that was in charge of moving people around, priests. Like, he was the administrative Pope that signed off on it.
It's like
so he is very much aware. He's very much aware of what was going on with the pedophilia. And, oddly enough, when the Virgin Mary appeared to these three children, this cardinal really did know what the last secret thing that the Mary told the little girl. And he held on to that secret. So isn't it kind of weird that he, the keeper of the secrets, is going to, go to that place to make that speech? I think that's significant. What are your thoughts?
Do we have enough time?
Oh, we have.
Because I'm so pissed.
Oh, yeah.
At everything that's going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how in the past 6 weeks, we went from living in a pretty, I don't know, like almost hateful world, but not so strong, to where now it's very hateful. They hate their gays and we hate our Catholics. Moving on.
I know.
I'll talk about this again. We'll revisit this.
What we're going to go is we're going to fade out to our sponsor. And one of our sponsors is Axe Deodorant Body Spray. And this spray will keep you smelling great all day and all night. What do you think of this spray?
Well, I think this spray actually smells effing delicious.
It's Dark Temptation.
But I was going to say, you use Dark Temptations, then you make your room reservation.
Yeah, spray a little on me. Tell me how it smells.
Oh my gosh, you're going to love it. Ready?
Do you think that you would use some of this?
Oh, I would. Oh, yeah. Wow, this is sexy. As a matter of fact, I'll get rid of the stinky so you can get it in the pinky, because that's how sexy that is. That's how sexy that is.
Axe body spray. Now let's go and show us how to make that drink.